We're gonna play the game called Is It Cheating? Is it cheating if I am texting my ex? We're not...
Absolutely. You don't even have to finish the sentence.
It's cheating?
Yeah.
Okay, now you go. You say something.
Is it cheating if I'm at the store and this girl starts talking to me and I'm engaging in conversation?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
You're like, I'm kind of rethinking that answer.
Is it cheating if I have a guy stay at the Airbnb with me?
Yeah. What are you guys doing at the Airbnb? Why
my
is someone
cousin.
coming? Oh.
Okay, your turn.
Then no. That's also kind of weird. No. Is it cheating if a girl touches my leg and I just let her touch it?
No.
That's not cheating?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Your turn.
Your
Wait,
turn.
is it my turn?
Yeah.
Is it cheating if I like an ex post?
Yeah, that's not good.
It's cheating?
I feel like it's a form of cheating. It's a very early stage of cheating.
Oh, I'm just giving them the signal.
Yeah, you're like, hey, what's up?
Your turn.
Is it cheating if I'm messaging an ex?
What are you messaging her about?
Just catching up.
No.
That's not cheating? What the hell?
Baby, do you notice that I'm saying no to everything?
Yeah, no, I'm progressively getting more shocked. You're crazy.
It's a trend.
It is?
Yeah. Everything you said was cheating. You better never do any of it.
I knew I wasn't tripping. I was about to say, how come all of your scenarios sound like cheating? Like they just getting progressively worse. If I do this with my ex, if I go here, if I go there. Woman, what are you up to?
I personally would not want to date a man that's super lustful over women that have exaggerated boobs, butt, lips, whatever, or just a lot of work done, period. Doesn't matter where it is. Not out of a place of insecurity, but it's just like, babe, go get your type. Why are you dealing with me? I'm someone with nothing done and you this is your whole explore page, right? So this is what you're attracted to. And eventually I'm not going to be enough for you because I don't actually meet your criteria of what you think is beautiful. I might still be beautiful to you, but what you ultimately want through what your explore page and your actions show.
What you're fantasizing about.
You're fantasizing about.
You're just constantly fantasizing about it. Like,
it's not fair to you or to me to be with you.
Well, there you go. I didn't order that. It says here, please unblock me. I miss you, babe. 4 exclamation points.
Oh, jeez. It's from my ex.
Oh, well, enjoy your sandwich.
Thank you.
I know some women are going to use this as evidence when they file their restraining order on a dude. This wouldn't be cute. This would be a criminal act if it were a man.
I am off for one guy and one guy only, and that guy does not want me. And that is a pity for both of us.
Imagine your fiance, who is not the same dude as you're talking about in this video, runs across this clip right before your wedding day. Y'all gotta be quiet.
So I came across her, and she told a very long and arduous story about a date that she just had with someone she called a creature, aka a man. So I guess she's calling men creatures, okay? That's the first thing. Now, before I get into her story, let me tell you this. Every time I see one of these stories come across my FYP with these eyes and this look, I just take it for entertainment purposes only. I don't believe a word they say, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, I'm just listening for entertainment purposes only. So entertain me, Danielle. So basically, Danielle says that she matched with a guy on a dating app who was nice and buff, built, and they decided to go out for drinks. She suggested a place that she knew and was familiar with. He met her there. She ordered a beer. He ordered a water. Then she proceeds to ask him, well, you're not drinking? And he was like, basically telling her, I'm trying to get to a certain body fat percentage, so I'm cool for right now. So they get to talking, and she says that he reaches around and he grabs her, he touches her calf. I guess because they was talking about fitness to see if she had muscles in her calves, whatnot, right? And she said at that particular point for him not to touch her. And then she said that she was ready to get up out of there. So she knocked back the beer and proceeded to go to her car. She said he followed her to her car because she was parked right in the front. So it wasn't like she could get away. And when she got to the car, they had an awkward, uncomfortable conversation. And he went in to kiss her. And she kind of did like a Matrix move, right, to avoid the kissing. And then she says he tried to prevent her from getting in her car. She said she would cut his hands off. She pushed by him, got in the car, pulled out a bat from the back and waved it at him. If this doesn't sound like the most unbelievable fiction, I don't know what fiction actually is. The problem with her story is everything, basically. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that some remnants of the story didn't happen, but the way that she said it, something ain't quite right. But here's the thing. Why, if you felt this uncomfortable, you didn't make a police report? Why get on social media and tell your story on social media, but not tell it to the police? Did it even happen, Danielle? Full link to this video in the description.
So I went on a date with a creature, or otherwise known as a man.
So I'm not dating because I don't want to, but I'm going to give you guys some advice that I highly suggest you take. Take it from an old lady, okay? Always talk on the phone for like a week or so, on and off, before you go on a date. Because I guarantee you, you're gonna sniff out the weirdness and with those phone calls. I guarantee it. And I know most people don't want to talk on the phone. You just want to go do the date and get it over with. That doesn't work. You're going to be able to tell what a weirdo they are through a phone call. I guarantee it.
Okay, so story time. I started the gym today, a new gym. I want like just new, fresh start, whatever. So this gym's like kind of 15 minutes away from my house. Not really familiar with the area. After I finish my workout, I'm like, you know what? I should probably get a smoothie. I think that's like good after the gym. So I look up a nearby tropical smoothie, anything I can find. There's one 3 miles away. I go there. I go in, I get a smoothie. I'm like, you know what? I should probably get Chipotle. I'm looking. Boom. There's one 100 feet away from me. So I'm looking around. Where the fuck is this? It's right behind me. Great. So I get out of the car, get Chipotle, I eat, I leave. As I'm walking out, there's 2 men in the parking lot. I see them looking at me. So I'm like, I just keep walking. I get to my vehicle, which is outside of the parking lot that they're standing in. It's like right in front of it. And I turn to get into my car and they're staring at me and one of them waves. So I just politely waved back and I get into my car. They weren't bad looking. They were, decent looking men, whatever. Definitely older. So whatever. I get into my car and I'm like trying to put in my GPS to go home and this guy's at my window and I'm like, oh shit. I panic and I open the window. And he's like, hi, oh my God. He's like, you're gorgeous. Like I don't normally see gorgeous women around here often. He's like, I felt inclined to give you my number. He hands me his business card. And I'm like, that's an interesting way to give someone your number. And he was like, I was like, what are you like, just walking around, you see somebody good looking, you hand them your business card, you just pass them out like flyers? And he's like, no. He was like, I'm newly single, haven't been in the game for a while, whatever. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, how old are you? Because again, like I said, he looked like he could have been like in his early 30s, maybe like 30, 31. And he goes, oh, I'm 40. You're a who, what? 40? Oh. And I was like, oh. I was like, do you know how old I am? And he's like, oh, like, I don't know, maybe like 20, 28? No. Babe, I'm 24 next week. Okay, I'm fresh. So whatever. It's all funny. He gives me his card. He's like, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Ciao for now. He leaves. Now I'm going back. I'm trying to put in the GPS to get home. I go to put myself into drive and he's back at my window. Roll down the window again. How are you? And he's going on to say, like, well, my buddy, he was like, oh, making fun of me that I gave you my number. I should have your number so I could text you. And I was like, oh, God. And, like, at this point, I'm like, this guy's 40. Like, we're not doing anything with this information of number. So I'm just like, I don't know. And then I feel bad not giving it because now I feel awkward. Like, he's at my window, arm in, handing me the phone. And I'm like, okay, just, I don't care. So I put in my information. He's like, you're so gorgeous. I'm like, thank you so much. Whatever. Leaves. I guess it's a productive day. Anyway, I don't know. I thought it was really funny. 40-year-olds handing out their numbers. I haven't been approached like that in the longest time. I feel like nobody goes up to people anymore. And of course, the one time it happens, he's twice my age. So that's good.
There were women in the comments actually saying, so what was the point of the story? Exactly. The point of the story was unmentioned. She didn't say it. The point of the story was, look how good I am. I can pull a 40-year-old. Look at that. I'm special. Look at me. That's the point of the story.
I hate when y'all make me get on here and agree with men. That's not what I like to spend my time doing. But whoever got in here and said that the girl that's going kind of viral right now because she's posting my house, she's called that man 43 times and has been camped outside of his house for hours. And he's like, if a man did this, we would label him as a dangerous man. He's not wrong, y'all. He's not wrong. Imagine a man that you're dating. They're not even in a relationship. Mind you, she's technically single and he is as well. A man that you're dating, you are seeing each other, blowing your phone up 43 times, pulling up side of your house and camping out there all night, pulling a whole steak out. And then when you tell him I'm not home, he goes and bangs on your door and he sees your friend go in your house and he asks her to be let in your house. It do sound crazy. I won't say that it is as dangerous as it would be if a man were doing that, because I don't think that women are inherently as dangerous as men can be. But it is still morally, that is wrong. You can't be doing people like that. We're like 28, 30 years old. There's no way that we're still acting like this. It's not okay at any age, but it's definitely not okay at our big age, y'all. This is going a little bit too far. This is just like that girl I talked about last month who got on here saying that when her baby daddy and her were on a break and he went and got some other girl pregnant, that she stalked the hell out that girl and tried to get her and her friends to jump that girl and beat her in the head with a bottle. Y'all be taking stuff too far and think that it's okay because you're a woman, but it's not. Not only is it like icky and embarrassing, but also like that's just not okay. Like that's not how you behave. That's not how you treat people. That is actually like somewhere in here, I feel like a felony is brewing. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but somewhere in this sequence of events, it feels like something illegal is happening. It just don't seem right to me, y'all. I can't.
Tell me why I go and send this man photos. The sexiest photos you ever seen in your life next to Megan Fox and the Transformers, okay? I look good. New lingerie set. I send this man 3 photos. Bang it! With the caption, I got some new lingerie. Can't wait to show you. You know what this said to me? Took 5 hours to reply. And you know what the he said? He said, oh, wow, Ari. You did get new lingerie, didn't you? Answer was, you look good as fuck. Oh, wow, Ari, you did get new lingerie, didn't you? Do you hate me? Why do you sound annoyed? No emoji, nothing? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. That doesn't even make sense to me. Didn't you? Like, didn't you? Like, do you?
Do you think it might have been, wow, you did get new lingerie versus, you got new lingerie? You think maybe it was that? And maybe you're overreacting? Did you ask him? So what do you think? Are you impressed? Do you like it? Maybe the excitement did not come through over text message. Just maybe. I'm just saying.
I was just scrolling on TikTok and it amazes me that there's so many gorgeous women on this app and almost every man in the world is ugly. There's a select few that are hot and I'm like, okay, you're really hot. and then every other man is ugly.
All right, so here's the thing. She's not necessarily wrong, but she is. And I've made this video before, but I'm going to do it again. Well, why is this that countless girls have made this comment that, women, they're so hot, but men, like, they're so ugly in comparison to the average woman and average man? Number one is most women have a deep-rooted misandry issue, meaning I don't think most women like men. Like, they might like certain aspects of men, but I think a lot of women don't really like men, and they just, like, use it as an excuse to put them down. That's number one. But the number two reason, and this is why I say it's partially true sometimes, is I made this video countless times, is women engage in looks maxing, like, way more than men do. Like, if you go, and I'm not trying to be mean, that's why I didn't, like, use any specific pictures, go look up, like, those makeup transition videos that girls do, and the before, that's what girls look like before. This is what they look like if they were to do nothing. Like, if they don't put in, like, the fake hair, if they don't do their eyelashes, they don't put on makeup, they don't do their eyeliner, if they don't do all those things, then that is their natural state. So that is what they should be comparing themselves to when comparing themselves to a man. It's not really a fair comparison, in my opinion, to sit there and you do a bunch of stuff to glam yourself up, and then you're comparing yourself to Derek, who did his hair with gel, put on some cologne, and, went outside. Now, I know the easy argument here is, well, they could go and do the same thing. Yes and no. Like, listen, I'm a guy who clearly gets his eyebrows done. I go spray tanning. I do stuff to whiten my teeth. Like, I do a little bit above what most men do. And people have said, oh, that's feminine. So it's this weird thing where girls will call you feminine if you try to work on your appearance. But then if you don't work on your appearance, they make videos saying, like, why are women so much hotter than men? Also, the number three reason why this happens, and I'm not saying this is a good or a bad thing, is it's pretty obvious that looks matter way more when it comes to dating for women than it does to men. Like, women have clearly shown that they don't care that much if you're, like, an average looking guy. You can overcompensate in some areas. Like, if you make a lot of money, if you have a really good job, if you're really funny, I don't know, like, you're really muscular, whatever it is, you can make up for it. It is very hard to make up for, even if you have the funniest personality in the world, being a relatively unattractive girl. So because of that, I think girls feel a lot more pressure to engage in looks maxing. Because like I said, this isn't supposed to be an offensive video. It's just reality. If you go look up those, like, little transition videos that girls do, that is what they look like normal. That is why those videos go so viral. You understand that. Like, the reason why those makeup transition videos go so viral is because they look like, oh, wow, that girl's okay. And then all of a sudden they're like supermodels. And we're like, whoa, 2 million likes. Because I just feel like comparing a girl with a bunch of makeup on who has her hair done professionally, she went, picked out an outfit, she did all this stuff to a guy who didn't do those things is like comparing a guy who is in the gym naturally to, like, Ronnie Coleman, who's, like, injected himself with every steroid in the whole world. Like, it's just not really a fair comparison. But again, this is just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
So then they don't look good. That's the argument. You are doing things to yourself to enhance what you have. You don't look good. There's not a lot of good-looking women, as you're saying. Why are there so many more good-looking women than men? There's not. It's just that you use enhancement, you use filters to get to where you're going. It's like somebody playing GTA is like, man, why is this game so easy? Like, I'm maxed out on my strength. I'm maxed out on my money. What's wrong with you? Well, you used the cheat code. Quite simply. That's why you were able to go on all of these missions and beat them the first time. That's why you were able to max out your strength and all your attributes, because you used a cheat code. So yeah, like, you're far ahead of everyone else because you decided to cheat. Not better than everybody else. You're just a cheater.
Is it just me, or you be talking to somebody or even dating somebody, right? And be so in love, like, just love this, see absolutely no wrong in them, just love them. Then one day you're just like, I don't like you no more. We could be having a good day. And I just be like, I don't like you no more. I don't like the person you are. I don't like the way you move. I don't like the way you think. I just don't like you. So I want to leave. Just like that. Like, I want to go. I don't want to talk anymore. Is that just me?
I saw a guy do this, and I think it's appropriate that I would do the same. So where are all the single guys that are respectful and educated and want to take care of a woman and are not, mama's boys and have a good sense of humor and are not playboys? Where are they? Single ladies are looking for a good guy. Where are they?
As you can see, 187 likes and 322 comments. So that lets you know that they've answered your question. So you can stop asking. Just go there and see what they want and actually listen to it and try to comprehend.
Wife always says, if you can lift your hand off the counter, it's not big enough.
Oh, hello? Because here I am.
So let's take a look. Let's see what we have that might be a little bit bigger.
That is beautiful.
And how much is this one costing?
$15,000 to $20,000 for Centerstone.
If I had that money, I wouldn't be in my mom's basement. I don't know. Does it look like I can afford that right now? My mom gave me a budget of like $25 today. What am I going to tell my mom that I'm at Cooper's Jewelry about to buy Nyla a $30,000 wedding ring? My mom would herself. And they called the police.
Can you do a down payment?
Sure. We have a financing plan.
But you know my mom locked my accounts and I have to call her before I make any purchases today. She said that before she left the house.
Our feelings for him would be mildly concerned.
I mean, if you can't make a decision about a ring on your own as a man, how can you plan to get married?
Oh, I have a good idea. What if you just opened a new credit card?
My mom's not here.
You're a grown man.
She doesn't
You
make
can open your
decisions.
own credit card account. You're more than capable.
I can, but my mom's going to need to be there for that.
Will you ever be able to make a big boy decision without Miss Dia?
We make big boy decisions every day.
Well, it seems like you can't even manage your own finances without her. Is that moving like a big boy?
Yeah, I feel like, important people have other people manage their finances all the time.
She's not your accountant.
She is, though, and I trust my mom.
Or your personal assistant.
We just walked in here, and I didn't even know I was coming here.
Yeah.
And then you tell me to buy a $20,000, $30,000 ring.
Babe, I'm not telling you to do anything. The point is, I want you to want to get down on one knee and marry me.
Got a lot of stupidity going on, just to be honest with you. So let's first talk about the signs: shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right going on from not one, not two, but all three of y'all involved in foolishness. Number one, y'all sitting up there talking about he should, what was that he said? My wife says if she can pick her hand up off the counter, then the ring's not heavy enough. I don't care what your wife says. She don't got my wallet in her pocket. She don't know what my funds are. Number one. Number two, this foolishness about opening up a credit card on the spot and blowing $20K, when does it end? Open up another credit card, max it out for a wedding dress, and another one, max it out for the wedding, and another one, max it out for a car, and it just keeps on going. Oh man, if you can't make no decision about no ring and da. And he hit them with the truth. There's a lot of people that manage somebody else's funds. Period. That's a car payment. That's a down payment on a house, on a kid's college fund. You can buy almost an entire car with that. And then people want to clown him talking, $25 a day. That's it. Tell you, that ain't nothing. $25. Your mama give you $25. If you do the math on that, $25 a day, you really shouldn't be spending money every day like that anyway. But $25 a day is like $750 a month. That's a car payment. So you mean to tell me I've been blowing money here, and here for what? I could have used that money to buy a car. Guess who's going to tell you that? A millionaire. Somebody with money. Stop blowing your money over here. Stop wasting your money over there. Put yourself on a budget. That's what a financial advisor is going to tell you. Anybody that got any kind of common sense is going to tell you that. Period. If you guys would have said, oh, well, he's living at his mom's house and it's not because he's falling on hard times, he just in there, I can get with you on that. But y'all sitting up here shaming this man because he's not making snap decisions. Y'all are clowns.
I found my toxic trait, y'all. I found my toxic trait. There may be quite a few, but the one that I just recognized is, well, I'm already loud, but I am definitely the type to be like, I'm not yelling! Who's yelling? You bitch. You're yelling.
get ready with me while I tell you guys about how I got kicked out of a man's house because I wouldn't know him and I had to sleep in my car. TikTok, I don't know any of the music in this video. So I'm going to start this off by saying I've never spent the night at a man's house, let alone, like, I can barely spend the night at a friend's house. I live in a very Hispanic household and my mom doesn't pray. So I've been talking to this man for about a month. I told him from the beginning, like, I wasn't interested in letting him crush. So if that was what he was in this for, then wrong. But I don't know if he didn't understand me or wanted to play, like, a little challenge because he kept talking to me. So I'm thinking, okay, like, me and this man are locked in. This was also, like, my first serious talking stage since me and my ex had broken up. I had just been, like, flirting. Haven't really been taking anybody serious because I didn't really want a relationship until this man added me and came around into the picture. Also, very important part of the story, this man lives an hour away. An hour away, okay? So basically we're on the phone, it's like the middle of the week, and he tells me he's gonna have like an open crib for the rest of the week, that I should come see him, whatever. I did tell him, I am not going to drive an hour away for you if you cannot drive an hour for me. He hasn't come to see me yet, and he works in my area. He commutes here every day for work, Monday through Friday, right? He's never came to me like after work or anything. He just goes straight home. He says he either has school or he has to go to the gym. It was always an excuse. I'm like, you have never driven to me, like, I'm not going to drive to you. And that's how I was going to scope out if this man was serious or not about me. So anyways, he says, okay, I'll come see you tomorrow. This is on Thursday. So I'm like, okay, if you come see me on Thursday, then I will see you, or if you come see me on Friday, I will drive to you on Saturday. So he drives to me on Friday. He takes me on a date. Mind you, this is like my first date since me and my ex have broken up. Okay, now for the juicy part of the story, the day rolls around. The day I'm supposed to go over there and spend the night. So my plan was to go Saturday night because I was going to tell my mom that I was spending the night at my friend's house. So Saturday rolls around and he texts me at 11 a.m. and he's like, I'm ready for you whenever you want to come. And I was like, oh, like, you want me to come right now? And he was like, yeah, I'm ready. I just need to clean my room. And I was like, oh, because the fact that this man wanted to see me like at 11 a.m. rather than me come at night, it gave me like green flag vibes. It was like, okay, like, he wants to see me during the day. Mind you, when he came on Friday, it was during the day. So I didn't get like slut vibes from this man. So I tell him, okay, like, I have to clean my room and get a bunch of stuff done before I go. But really the case was, I texted my mom and I said, Mom, if I go to Northport today, can I still spend the night at my friend's house? And she says, no, you have to pick, like, between one of the two. So I had decided that I was going to pick to spend the night at my friend so I could go see him because I was afraid that if I didn't go spend the night with him, he was going to have another girl over because he's got free crib. Like, nobody's home. So the time rolls around, it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, we've got to start going. So I get to my friend's house. I have my bag packed to spend the night at his house. And my friend tells me she wants to come with me because she also is seeing a man in Northport. Oh. Oops, I accidentally said the name of the area, so let's blur that. So her man gets off at a certain time, and so I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do for the time being that your man isn't off and he's at work? And she's like, I can just stay in your car. And I was like, okay, what happens when you guys are done hanging out and I'm spending the night in this man's room in his house? She's like, I'll just sleep in the car. I asked her multiple times, are you sure, before y'all try to cancel me? And she was totally fine with it. So we're driving over there. Boom, I pull up, and I'm hiding my friend in the back of my car because I did not tell him that I'm going with her because he kept saying, like, can we just see each other, just us two, da da da. So I'm thinking, like, he's gonna have an empty crib. So I walk in there, his brother is washing dishes, and his homeboy, let's call his homeboy Jaden, is laying on the couch. I'm like, hello? You said you had an open crib, you said you wanted to spend it just us two, like, what? Mind you, I had already known the friend Jaden because we went, like, on, I don't want to call it a double date, I don't want to call it a two-man either. Like, all four of us had hung out after a party and chilled in the car. So I already knew this friend personally, and so did my friend who was in my car. So at this point, I'm trying to text her and tell her, like, if she wants to come in, because she's already met him. And I'm like, okay, like, it could be, like, a double date type of thing between all of us since they already know each other. She just didn't want to do it. Okay. So I'm texting my friend, trying to tell her everything, tell her that, like, she can come in. I'm trying to check up on her because obviously, like, this girl's in my car. I'm trying to make sure she's alive. There's no air. So I'm, like, constantly on my phone. So I go out to my car to go check on her. And already he's, like, suspicious because I'm, like, on my phone. I'm not really, like, paying attention to what he's saying because I'm worried about my friend. And I keep, like, asking him to go back to the car. And he's like, what do you need to go back to the car for? Like, I can go get it for you. I can go. And I'm like, no, it's okay. So when I go to the car and I go to check on her, I have a Wawa cup full of water. I fit on the cup. So boom, now my pants are wet, but he comes outside, so I have to go back inside to, like, not make it obvious that my homegirl's in the car. And he puts on a movie, we get to kissing or whatever, and he's like trying to like touch on me and my pants, and I'm like, do you mind if I just go to the car really quick and change? Like, my pants are wet and I'm uncomfortable. So I asked him, I'm like, can I please go back to the car and change my clothes? Like, I brought a spend the night bag. And he was like, why do you need to change your clothes? Like, you could just be naked, like, you're spending the night here, like, you don't trust me. So he's trying to get my pants, and he's like, you don't need to go to the car, you're not giving me attention, you're just on your phone, you don't want me to show you how much I like you, I'm trying to be affectionate. But really, he was like just trying to get my pants. And so I look at him and I'm like, did you only want me here for one thing? So he looks at me and says nothing. So at this point I'm like, okay, I have my answer. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to the car and change my pants and like make him think that I'm leaving, like show him like he's about to lose me. So I get up and I grab my keys, and as I'm walking out, he was like, are you being serious? I say yes. I get closer to the door, and right before I walk out, I look back at him one more time. So I go in the car and tell my friend what just happened, and I'm getting ready to go back in. So I walk back up to the door. Why is it locked? Okay, I'm running out of time, so I hate to do this, but I have to do a part 2, so stay tuned and come back for part 2. Part 2 of how I got kicked out of a guy's house an hour away from my home and had to sleep in my car. So I go back and the door is locked, so I text him and I'm like, hey, let me back in. No answer. So at this point, I call him like 3 or 4 times, no answer. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this dude not gonna let me back in, bro? So I ring the doorbell twice, no answer. Mind you, there's other people in that house that can open the door for me. There's his homeboy and there's his brother. So I'm guessing he's telling him, don't open the door. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just wait, like you thought. And he talked so much about how he wanted a crazy Latina, how he wanted a toxic Latina. Well, now you got one. So you're gonna open the door for me, or you're gonna see what's gonna happen. So I go back to my car and I tell my friend everything that's happened. She's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? I'm like, girl, I'm not leaving. Like, dude, you're not gonna have me drive an hour here for me to spend the night, for me to this, that, and the third, and you're gonna lock me outside your house. It's not happening. Number 1. Number 2, I'm an hour away and I can't go back home. I can't. So I'm sitting here parked in his driveway still, and he finally responds to me. And I'm like, dude, can you just call me? Like, can we just talk about it? He's like, no, you already made up your mind. Don't try to sit here and change it now. Like, you did what you did. Like, go home. And I was like, I can't go home. Like, I have nowhere to sleep. And the issue was, I'd already told my mom I was not coming back home. I was spending the night at my friend's. I told her mom we were not coming back home. So, do you see, we were kind of in a pickle. And he's like, I don't care what you do. You just need to leave. So I'm sitting here, like, trying to get back into the house. 1, I wanted to secure a place for me to sleep. 2, I didn't want him to bring over another because I know he had the free crib. There was also a party that night, and I didn't want him going to that party either. I'm sorry, I'm done. So we're going back and forth over on the phone, and then finally, like, he tells me to leave again, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I say his name. That's how you know I'm serious. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. At least that's what I had to make him think. So I tell him, okay, I'm leaving, and then he says, thank you, and he still has my location on Snap, so I get off Snapchat, and babe, I park right down the road. Right down the road, I can still see, like, everything that's happening from there. And at this point, my plan was to follow him in the morning. Like, when he woke up, I was going to follow him to where he was going and confront him. He had told me while I was on my way there that he had to take his brother to the airport in the morning. And the airport is in my city. So I was like, okay, like, in the morning, I'm just going to follow him, and it's going to lead me back home. So that's what, that was my plan. So I parked down the street. Dude, not even 10 minutes go by. Why does another car pull up? So we're watching the car, and I see 2 people get out, and then I'm like, what the, like, this man has a 2-man. And the reason my mind came to this conclusion was because when we were in the room, and I was playing the game, I looked over at his phone, and in the group chat with his boys, he was talking about a 2-man. And I was like, he can't be talking about, like, me and my homegirl, because he had asked about my homegirl who was sitting in the car, but he didn't know. I was like, oh, she's at home. So I'm like, what 2-man is he talking about? And I got caught looking at his phone, and he's like, you need to mind your business. Like, this 2-man has nothing to do with me. It's about my brother. Like, mind your business. Just being a complete dick. Like, okay, this man's on a... So boom, we stay out there a little longer, and then I realized I left my cart in this man's house. I did not want to leave without that cart because I had already lost one at work, and that was like one of my last 2 carts. So I was like, I'm not leaving without that. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna text him and tell him to give me my cart back. But I didn't want him to see my location was still like down the street. So we had drove to Wawa, and I texted him. I'm like, hey, did I leave my cart? And he ends up reading it and leaving it unread. So at this point, I'm like, okay, like my cart got bucked. Like there's nothing I can do at this point. What the freak? So he leaves me on red, and we're sitting at the Wawa parking lot because we have nowhere to go. And he texts me back an hour later, and he's like, I'll check if your car is here. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, are you okay? So I text him back, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just sleeping in my car, you know? Nothing crazy. So we decided to pull it back to his house because at this point, I'm like, is he texting me because the 2-man left, or is he texting me because his high wore off? Because we did smoke when I got to the house, and we were gone. So we pull back up. He stops answering, so I'm like, okay, is he asleep? Like, at this point, now what are we going to do? So what is it time to do? Go to sleep. We did end up driving home at around like 4 in the morning. Mind you, I left for his house at like 8 o'clock, so you see the timestamps. I did end up getting caught by my mom. If you guys want a story time about that, I'll be glad to give it to you. And yeah, there were just so many red flags that I had missed. But yeah, he was basically mad that I didn't let him, because that was his way of showing his affection to me, and I wasn't letting him. And that when I was trying to go back in the house, he was like, don't try to change your mind now. Like, you already said you don't want, you know. So the next morning, he's snapping me on Snap, and I see that his location is in my area, so I'm like, okay, he really did have to drop off his brother. Like, he's not 100% a pathological liar. And then I go back to sleep. 20 minutes later, I wake up, I'm blocked. I go to Instagram, unfollowed, and then I went to TikTok to unfollow him. Mind you, this is when the whole, like, TikTok ban was happening. So when it came back, I was like, okay, I gotta go unfollow him first. I went to go unfollow. His name was there. I scroll down, scroll back up, because I was seeing if anybody else had unfollowed me, and boom, I'm unfollowed before. He beat me to it, meaning we were both gonna do it at the same exact time. So yeah, me and this man no longer talk. I was really hurt about it, because hello, like, I had opened up to this man, and this was, like, my first, like, situationship, I guess, since me and my ex broke up. So obviously I was gonna be a little hurt, but I'm glad I found out the real him, because imagine I did let this man hit later on, and then this would happen. So, and also I'm thinking that he like kept telling me to leave his house after everything happened because he had those girls coming over. So I'm wondering, like, was that the plan the whole time? Like, you already had these girls coming, so like imagine I would have let this man crush, and then after he'd be like, you have to get out, like, you can't stay here, whatever. Like, it would have been another excuse for me to go. So I dodged a bullet. But yeah, let me know if you guys want the red flags and how my mom got me.
Okay, so let's see if we can make some sense out of this. There was a lot there. So she had been talking to a guy who lived about an hour away for a month, let him know that she wasn't particularly interested in any physical contact right away. Dude agrees, and she says, okay, that means like he's showing some genuine interest in me. Offered for her to come over and stay the night, saying, hey, man, my crib is open. It's just going to be us. Initially, she was hesitant about that, and eventually agreed. Okay, so you're saying that you don't want anything, and maybe she's young. Maybe I say maybe 18, 19, maybe 20. Maybe 20. She looks relatively young, so I might have to give her a pass for that, right? Because if you've been around the game long enough, just hang out at somebody's house. I mean, you can, but you really shouldn't without expecting anything to happen, right? So I'm not going to go too hard on her. Use it as a learning experience. That's why one of the other videos said, get on the phone and talk on the phone. Ask questions. Well, I don't know what to say. I'm young. That's why you need a mentor or who's going to mentor me. That's why you need to get a hold of your mom. Hey, mama, this guy is this. And I know, I understand you're young. You don't want to tell nobody. But this is how you keep yourself out of terrible situations like this. When you come upon somebody, they're looking for one thing. They tell you one thing. This is why it's good to have some brothers, uncles, dad, grandfather. Because you can go to them and you need to be honest with them. Maybe you don't tell them every single detail, but hey, he's this man that I'm talking to is saying this. So what does that mean, right? And you can get a little bit more insight as to if you need to be over there, and you can protect yourself. This is what men be saying. You got to watch out and you got to be careful. Y'all be out here letting dudes sweet talk you and fast talking. You be over there and get yourself locked out an hour away, lying to your mom about, oh man, I'm gonna be with a friend and all that other stuff as a cover story and all that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to be careful out there. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too hard on you because apparently there's women in the comments saying this. This one says it sounds pathetic and desperate. And there's a few in the comments in support of her, but yeah, there's a lot of these women saying she should have done better, but yeah, let this be a learning experience.